All right, so we're diving deep into the NBA today. Trades, the new Cup tournament, you name it. We're trying to make sense of it all. We got a chance to listen to an episode of the All NBA podcast, and these analysts had some pretty interesting takes.
Yeah, they really got into it, especially about the NBA Cup. One of the guys was saying how, he loves soccer.
Oh, yeah.
Big soccer fan. And he loves the knockout format, the sudden death, all the excitement that comes with that.
And I get it, high stakes, every game matters.
Exactly. But he thinks the way the Cup is structured now, it doesn't quite capture that same feeling.
Yeah. The group stage games, it does feel kind of like just another regular season game sometimes.
Right, like they count towards the Cup standings, technically.
Doesn't feel the same. And the point system. Don't even get me started. I can barely follow it.
Oh, yeah, it's confusing. And then you have the East and West separated until the very end.
It's just weird.
So he had this idea, kind of radical. What if they took the whole league to Vegas for a week?
Whoa.
Like all 32 teams, single elimination, bam, bam, bam.
Now that's exciting.
Finalists from last season get a bye, adds to the drama.
Oh, can you imagine the energy? Every game, a playoff atmosphere.
Every possession would matter.
Every shot.
Crazy upsets, who knows? So that's the Cup. Now let's talk trades. Things are heating up.
December 15th is coming up, right? Unofficial start of trade season.
Exactly. And what's interesting? Teams are making moves earlier and earlier these days.
Oh,
yeah. The analyst was saying in the last 6 years, there have been 7 trades between December 15th and January 15th.
Ah.
Crazy, right? So much for waiting till the deadline.
Well, what about the new CDA? I thought all those restrictions would slow things down.
I mean, yeah, there were concerns about that. But you know what? Teams always find a way.
That's true.
Plus, nowadays, even the smaller trades, they get analyzed like crazy.
Everyone's looking for that edge. So which teams are we watching? Give me the names.
Well, they talked about the Knicks. They're looking pretty good. Seem like they're just one piece away.
A trade away, is that what they said?
Yeah, to trade away. And then the Bucks, they need some depth, but they don't have a lot to trade.
Tough spot.
Yeah. And then there's the Nuggets. They want to shake things up. But again, not a lot of assets.
So what are they going to do?
The analyst was saying they'd probably be more likely to trade some of those end-of-rotation guys, not their young talent.
Makes sense. Did they mention any names?
They brought up Zeke and Najee. Apparently, he's got some trade value.
Interesting. But the real question is, will they trade Michael Porter Jr.?
That's the million-dollar question, right? The guy's got talent, but the injury history makes it tricky.
For sure. But hey, the G League showcase is coming up soon, right?
Oh, yeah, it's like the winter meetings for basketball. All the GMs will be there scouting, talking.
Lots of deals get made there, or at least talked about.
Behind closed doors.
Speaking of talk, we got to mention Jimmy Butler. Every year, trade rumors swirl around this guy.
It's like clockwork, even when he's playing at an all-star level.
Well, he's a good player. Oh, absolutely. The analyst said it perfectly. He's the perfect trade rumor person.
Talented enough to make any team better, but...
It's always a bet with Jimmy Butler, right?
Well, let's break it down. He's playing well, super important for Miami, but expiring contract might enter free agency.
So the Heat have to think about their options.
Exactly. Do they risk losing him for nothing? Or do they trade him now and get something back?
Tricky. Who are the potential landing spots?
They mentioned Houston, Dallas. Those make sense, right? Texas connection.
Yeah, but logistically, can they even make a deal work?
That's the thing. And then there's Golden State. Always a contender.
Oh, yeah, they're always looking to make a splash.
But they'd have to give up a lot to get him.
And Phoenix got mentioned too, right?
Yeah, but that gets complicated with Bradley Beal and his no-trade clause.
Lots of moving parts there.
Yeah, it's a mess. And honestly, the analyst didn't seem too convinced a trade would actually happen this season.
I guess his contract is pretty massive.
Yeah, who's going to take on that salary?
That's the question. So many teams, so many players, all these potential moves. It's a lot to keep track of.
It really is.
The big question is, who makes the first move?
Who's going to be that first domino to fall?
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
That's the fun part.
That whole Jimmy Butler thing really makes you think, who is going to make that first move? What's the thought process,
It is interesting to think about, right? What's each team trying to do? Like you said, Knicks, Bucks, they want to win now. Got to make the most of this window they have.
Makes total sense. Championships on the line. Got to go for it.
But then you look at a team like the Nuggets, right? They have talent.
But are they a championship team?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why all this Porter Jr. talk is so interesting. Like, are they willing to make a big move to reach that next level?
Yeah, trading him would be a statement for sure.
A big gamble, but a statement.
Speaking of gambles, what about the Heat? If Butler's really walking, maybe they have to trade him.
It's a tough one. They built something good there, but
Yeah.
you can't just let them walk for nothing.
Got to get something back.
Yeah.
And we talk about the teams, but what about the players and all this?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's got to be stressful. Your name's in the rumor mill. You don't even know where you'll be playing next week, next month.
That's be tough on them.
Some guys thrive on it, I'm sure. But for others, it's got to be unsettling. So you've got teams trying to win now, teams thinking about the future, players just trying to figure it all out.
It's wild, right?
Yeah.
Constant strategy. Who's taking what risk?
And these trades, they can change the entire league for years.
Absolutely. Like, remember when Anthony Davis went to the Lakers? Changed everything. Or Harden to the Nets? Huge.
And it's not always the superstars either. Sometimes it's a role player, a draft pick, something small that ends up making a big difference. Exactly. The smart teams find those little pieces, fill the gaps.
Like a chess game almost.
Thinking ahead, always. Which moves will matter in the long run,
So we've got motivations, we've got players, we've got long-term effects. But who makes that first move?
Just kicks it all off.
The anticipation is killing me.
And once that first domino falls,
Yeah.
everyone's going to scramble.
Gotta adjust, gotta react.
The NBA, man. Never a dull moment.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about what might happen, but let's make some predictions. You ready? Based on what we heard, who do you think makes that first big move?
Man, that's tough. But if I had to pick, I'd say keep an eye on the Nuggets.
The Nuggets, yeah.
They're right there, Seem like they could really contend with just one more piece. But they've got some tough choices to make.
Well, the analysts thought they'd be more likely to trade veterans, right? But I don't know, what if someone offers them a huge deal for Michael Porter Jr.? They gotta listen, right?
Yeah, they'd have to. That would show they're all in on winning right now.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about the Knicks. They're having a good season, and their front office isn't afraid to make a big move.
No, they're not. I think they want to send a message. Hey, we're here. We're serious.
Definitely. And of course, you always got to mention Golden State. Those guys are always lurking.
Always.
Yeah.
And they were linked to Jimmy Butler, which would be crazy.
That would shake things up. But would it work? I don't know. Butler wants to win. Would Golden State be the right fit for him right now?
Yeah, sometimes bringing in a big name can backfire. Messes with the team chemistry.
Exactly. It's not always about just getting the best player. It's about finding the right pieces that fit together.
Like, remember when insert example of a team that acquired a key role player via trade who helped them win a championship? That one trade changed everything for them.
Yeah, perfect example. They didn't get a superstar, but they got a guy who fit perfectly.
And those kinds of trades, they can be huge.
So, to everyone listening, pay attention to every move, big or small. You never know which trade is going to change the whole league.
It's like a chess match.
Yeah.
And the teams that think ahead, they're the ones who are going to win.
Well said. This trade season is going to be wild. I can't wait to see what happens.
Me neither. Should be fun.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the NBA. We'll be back soon with more analysis and insights. Until then, keep an eye on those trade rumors.